Saturday morning flights in.
It's not morning, you drongo. It's evening.
Good evening, good morning, good day, good night. Welcome to Positive Rate. Turn those sim noises down just a little bit. Welcome, Saturday. I literally just woke up. I'm exhausted. So I was, for those of you who don't know, I was actually down in London yesterday in real life, and my flight got back at about just before 10 o'clock, and then I had an hour drive home. So I stayed up for a little bit. I'm kind of sitting on like 6 hours sleep, so I'm gonna make mistakes. And then I kind of woke up late, so I meant to wake up at about 8 o'clock, and then when I finally did wake up, it was about 9:30. I was like, ah! Anyway, big shout out to Beluga, who's joined us on today. Great to see you. Dan says good morning. Good morning, Dan, to you. And Nighthawk. Nighthawk's with us today as well. And Johnny Mon. Good morning, gents, he says. Johnny, always great to have you along. We're doing it's a West Coast route. Excuse me, today I got my water. I'm a bit dehydrated from flying last night. West Coast route from Seattle down to Oakland, which is a place we've not been yet, Oakland, so that's quite cool. And we'll get a good look at both those airports. Seattle's a bit of it's an older offering from Orbx. I've noticed there is a bit of a performance hit, and actually, there's a funny thing at the end of the runway. We're flying 3-4 right, but look at this, guys. There's a bit of a terrain flaw, so I'm going to report that back to Orbx and see if maybe the studio can put an update for that, because that's obviously not right, and it's going to be a bit interesting. So just tread carefully, guys, if you've got that flaw in your scenery. But Seattle Tacoma itself, very, very lovely. I don't think there's much in the way of internal modeling. Oh no, there is. Look at that. That's probably why my PC's probably struggling to hit it a bit. But look at that, looking out the window. That's cool. I like that. Main airport, obviously, that serves the Seattle area. It's not the only airport by far, and it's just a shame. I wish there had been scenery for the Boeing airport. We could have flown from there. 2 terminals though, and I think this one is. I don't know if this is one used for smaller, but yeah, no internal modeling on there. But you'll see a lot of exterior details. I love the towers. Like 2 towers right beside each other. It's really different. You don't usually see that at airports. Aaron's in, he says 6 hours of sleep. That's not sleeping. Or that is sleeping. Yeah, quite right. I should be. I'm an old man. That's the problem. Looks like there's a big cargo area up here as well, which is cool. 3 runways, all facing more or less the same direction. So we're leaving from 3-4 right today, and a beautiful, beautiful view of the San Francisco Bay Area. Might get a quick look at the Golden Gate Bridge too. I don't know how our flight path is going to take us around, but we'll see. But we got quite a bit of a block time, so let's go and see. Johnny's already kicked off there, and Nighthawk is flying the again. We gotta fly this plane soon. Sorry, I'm a bit croaky. The Headwind 330 with a positive rate livery, absolutely amazing. Of course, today I am flying the 737-600 from PMDG. So we shall jump into that cockpit and we'll get things going. Actually, what I didn't do is look around to see how far back that taxiway is. It's not very far, so I think we'll keep it at 90 feet or whatever it is. I've got the flight plan already loaded, so let me talk through that. I'll just grab that quickly. And we've got a new format today, you guys. So I had a long chat with my producer, Nick, last week, and we're going to formalize a few things. So if you do join us on VIP chat, we're going to kind of structure the stream a bit more around flight sim news and aviation talk and things like that. I think I had a bit of feedback last week that we're kind of getting away from our core discussion material. So we've got some talking notes of our post-production manager Dan has gathered some news, and we'll be talking through that today. And if you are joining us on VIP chat, I guess the main thing is, be casual, be hello, say hi and whatnot. But we're going to try and focus our conversation on flight simulation. That's the main thing. Captain Fozzie's just bounced in. He says, "My home airport. I'll try and enjoy him loading the slim." Oh, Captain, awesome! Can't wait to see you, man. Can't wait to see you. Of course, we used to sim brief, but we're going to Oakland today. So, and there's Mr. Producer Nick. How are you doing? Good morning, Nick. I was just explaining about the new protocols on people joining on VIP. Anyway, I was going to talk about the route. So we are taking off. Oh, good morning. Who am I speaking to? Who's that? Oh, hey, Nick. Mr. Producer, how you doing? So we're going to be taking off from Seattle 3-4 right, as I mentioned. Watch out for that bump at the beginning of the runway. Using the Harab 6 departure, and then we will be connecting into our main route. Should get some lovely views of the American coastline, western seaboard as we fly down. Getting close to Oakland, we'll be using the Windsor 2 arrival, transitioning through Spammy. And then as we come in it's a runway 30 landing today, which is a nice long runway, which is cool. Transitioning through Parib, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So we'll connect up with there. We got a vector kind of approach coming in, then we'll connect up there, meeting the Parib at 4,500. Slowly descending our platform at 2,700 feet. As we come in on the 296 into runway 30 in Oakland. And that is how we're going to do it. Of course, I am live on Atlanta as well. So if you're following me through there. What chat are you chatting in? That's an interesting question. What chat are you chatting in? I don't know. Don't quite understand the question there, Pluga. Jayhawk says morning. Good morning, Jayhawk. Hope you're doing all right today. So we as I said, we got a 2-hour block time, so let's get things going, guys. If you are ready to up and at 'em, well, first things first, I will get the APU on. Yeah. Ooh, probably not. You know what? That's it, and that's probably why I'm getting the train flaw on the runway. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, of course. I don't have a fighting chance if I'm running two different sceneries at the same time. Oh, hey ho! But the airport, funny because the airport looks okay. But yeah, no, I think you probably hit the nail on the head there. Probably. So thanks for calling that out, Nick. So it's probably no fault of or Orbx or the developer there. It's purely me missing something critical. Okay, we are on APU power now, so we can get rid of that ground power. And I'm running kind of half empty, Nick. So if you're gonna stay. Yeah. What time are you working? Oh, I see. It is, yeah. Okay, ground power is away, chocks are out. Ben says he can't hear you. Oh, okay, that is because I'm not jacked in. There you go. That's the first mistake of the morning. They can hear you now, Nick.
Yeah, so, luckily we can't hear Dan, so that's
There you go. Oh man. So how's your week been, Nick? Anything interesting?
it's been a busy one with work and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
same.
it's weird. I haven't actually flown for about a week because even on my days off now, I was just so burnt out. I was just like, I can't do this at the moment. So I've just stopped, and I'm going to start again today.
I know the feeling.
This evening, and yeah.
Yeah, we had 2 days of conference down just off Great Portland Street there. It was very intense, and it was kind of 8:30 start Friday morning. So I had unfortunately the hotel that put me in was about 4 miles away, so I had to kind of tube it in. So it was getting on the bloody tube for that, getting to the office. We didn't finish until 5:30. I had to truck it down to London City Airport. Flight was delayed about half an hour, which wasn't too bad. But you know, getting to the airport, Edinburgh at 10 o'clock, and then an hour drive home, finally getting through the door about 11:30. I was just completely wiped out. My wife, good on her, waited up for me and said, you know, do you want to watch TV for a bit? I said, no, I'm just going to go to bed. Okay, we're ready to push back. Brakes released. Just going to drop that music just a little bit. It seems a bit loud today. Okay, and we'll do engine 2. Feels good. Lucas says time to do some circuits. Yeah, I'll be up there eventually. Really tempted by the LVR Airbus 318, so I can use my Orbx London City Airport. Ooh, yeah. Don't really see my 318s. I must admit, I was London City all yesterday. It is, it's all Embraer 190s, lots of them. Some beautiful Swiss landings I've seen with the C Series 100, which is the Airbus D20, of course, now. That was really cool to see as well. And quite a few ATRs and Dash 8s yesterday. I'm trying to... Whoa! Whoa. What happened there? I think I touched the brakes by accident. Oh, I pointed the nose the wrong direction as well. There you go. What does that look like from the outside? I think I'm dragging the tail a bit.
Oh, strike. We're not even on the runway.
I know. I'll tell you what I did forget to put on the hydraulics. Oh my god, this is going to be a train wreck. I'll thrust forward. We'll get back on the nose, I'm sure. Oops. It is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, stop. I don't know where the pushback's going now. Stop.
You mentioning about the Embraers, it's interesting. I read the other day that British Airways they're contemplating what to do now because they want to replace their Embraer fleet, but with the restrictions that are still at London City.
Yeah.
Rumours are that they may actually pull out of London City.
Is this, sorry, BA?
Yeah, because they can't.
No.
They can't. Well,
That's...
because of the restrictions, like the curfews and stuff like that.
Oh,
they
right.
need to replace the fleet.
Yeah, because it's all noise abatement,
isn't
isn't
worth
it?
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame too because I love the Embraers that I mean, the one I fly on. It's probably one of my favorite airplanes as a passenger now. It's 2x2 and it's all leather seats and it's just quick to get on, get off. It's fast. I mean, Nick, I don't know what when we left late, so that the pilot was trying to make that time, but by God, we went like a rocket. Flight time from London City to Edinburgh. What is it usually?
Hour and a half, is it? Hour and a half?
No, not quite as long as that.
An hour? Actually, it's half an hour to Manchester, isn't it? So, an hour?
Hour. Good hour. Oh, the plane's come down again. Yeah, good hour, I would say, yeah. I mean, I gotta get rid of this bloody tug, which is gonna be interesting. Okay, I think I'm okay there. Okay. Yeah, good hour, right? 45 minutes flight time, Nick. He gunned it. We got wheels up. Yeah, wheels up to wheels down. It is the fastest flight I've ever had from London City to Edinburgh. Absolutely amazing. Okay, let's reassert ourselves here. So we've got good start on engine 2, switch that to continuous. We can put the APU off. Bring on our electric first.
Have time for champagne and caviar.
I had time. Well, because I was driving on the other leg. I had a coffee, which wasn't great, if I'm being completely honest with you. But I had a coffee, but just after they served, I probably got about halfway through it, and then as we were coming down, because we literally, as soon as we got up to altitude, we were starting to come down again. We started hitting some major turbulence because it was absolutely pissing rain in Edinburgh last night, and the drive home was slow. I mean, best speed I could manage for the rain was about 45 miles an hour the whole way, which was brutal. But we got there in the end. But it was a long day, a very long day. Okay, anything else that we need to be concerned about? I think we're okay. I've got a flight level 410 today, guys, by the way, so if you're flying with me, that's where we're headed. Okay, just do a quick check to see if we get an alarm. We do. That's probably because the flaps aren't down, so we'll set flaps 5.
Dan says, gigantic, loud, noisy, busy capital city, and they're worried about noise pollution. It's
well,
you know
yeah.
What, they're probably more strict about noise pollution in a densely populated area than most places. I mean, that's why Heathrow they have to alternate their runways for takeoff and landing every day.
Yeah.
And London City, the big one here was there's a curfew at the weekends. So there are certain times at the weekends that they're not allowed to fly.
Yeah.
Just so that the neighbours who were obviously moved in there after the airport opened can have a bit of peace and quiet at the weekends. As I said, there was a consultation, and I took part in that consultation. I sent my little 2-penneth in.
Yeah.
I said no, I'd love them to fly all the time because they fly over my house when they're landing on the 9s.
Beautiful. Well, I mean, you know, for us, being around airplanes is great. I mean, when we were in Kefalonia, we were at a villa that was literally on the approach path or the departure path for the airport, and I used to sit out in the morning and just watch the planes, you know, taking off. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it, but I guess for some people that, you know, that's not good enough. But I don't know. It's going to be a real hit for London City because BA is a major part of that airport. Okay, we're making our
deals will be done.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, for me, and I don't know what BA's posture is on this, but why not look at the Airbus 220? Maybe it's a type rating issue. I don't know, but they do fly. They do have an existing relationship with Airbus, so you would think that there might be an opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously just an exclusive because they don't use the Embraers anywhere else, I don't think. So it's just an aircraft. It's a weird one that they're actually looking for an aircraft for that airport.
Yeah, exactly. Nighthawk says, "Can the A220 go in the London City?" Yeah, absolutely, I can. Yeah. In fact, the Airbus 220, there was an airline going to do it, but they haven't materialized. But the Airbus 220 can actually fly transatlantic from New York and land in London City. I don't know if it can take off because I don't know what the MTOW would be for London City's length. I suspect they probably could. But they can definitely land, and I think they can. I think that was an advertised route that's possible with the 220 that you can actually fly direct from London City to New York, which is astounding, really, if you think about it. I'll tell you, Nick, I saw a really weird airplane yesterday. Tell me what I saw. So it was British Airways. It looked like the BA.
You don't know the BA 146?
It only had 2 engines.
Yep, a Dornier.
Oh, is that a Dornier? Okay.
And it's funny you say that because when I first went out to Manchester with the guys, I saw one in the distance. I was like, 146? What's that? What's that doing over there? It was all in BA colours, and it didn't move all day. And then when I got closer, I realised it only had 2 engines. I was like, right, I'm going to look into this. And of course, found out it's a Dornier. And then, funnily enough, yesterday I was watching a YouTube video that just popped up about British Airways and this Dornier. Now, it's not actually British Airways, although I think it's Sun Air.
Okay.
And it's an airline from the Nordics, but there was a partnership or something they were saying in the late 90s and before with British Airways and the Sun Air. Yeah. And the aircraft is all done up in the British Airways livery, and it's got BA cabin crew on it.
Wow.
And it flies to Manchester, Cambridge, and London City.
It sounds like a wet lease then. No, it would be a dry lease.
No,
if they've got BA. It's dry lease.
It's
How
a
strange.
weird setup.
It's a weird setup, yeah. Okay.
I think this guy... Yeah,
sorry, Nick, just final checks before takeoff here.
Yeah.
Okay, everything good. Right, actually, forgot all these lights. That's probably important. Anything else I need to worry about? Yes. TCAS and transponder are on. I think we're good to go. I'm probably missing something, but hey ho. Let's kick this pig. Airspeed's alive. Rotate.
Positive rate of climb.
You're up. Bit of trim. flaps one. Oop, over pitch. Get that nose down. Yeah. There we go. Sorry, Nick, what were you saying?
That's right, they gave me time to look things up. So, it's the franchise. Apparently Sunair has been a franchise partner of British Airways since 1996.
Right.
And it independently operates flights on the aircraft using British Airways livery.
Okay.
And it restarted its flights in September 22 to Manchester, and it flies from Billund in London City, and also to Manchester. And I did hear on this video that it was Cambridge as well. So but they've got 7 aircraft in total. Sunair.
Oh, that's very cool. Dan, he pointed out, you've got to take off config. Yeah, interesting. I didn't have RTO on, and I didn't get an alarm. There you go. But yeah, no. So missed opportunity there. Look at this. Getting a good view of Oakland here. Don't know if we can see any Golden Gate kind of stuff around here. Don't think we'll ever fly it. Yeah, it was a peculiar one, and I immediately thought of you when I saw it, because I'm like, Nick will know what that is.
And he did.
And you did.
Yep. As I said, it was just strange. You know when you go into YouTube and all of a sudden it pops up, and I was like, oh, yeah, I meant to see it back.
Oh, I love the scenery around here. It's amazing. See baseball stadium down there? That will be the Oakland Athletics, I would assume. Which is a team that's not doing too well financially. Actually, no, that could be a football stadium.
Coach Brammage always looks better than States.
Okay, we're looking good. Up we go. Good altitude today, Nick. 4,100 or 41,000.
41 is higher, yeah.
Yeah.
Must be light.
Flying, yeah, light on cargo, flying 97 passengers, so it's not full, but not far away. Johnny says, negative, you're in Seattle, not Oakland. Oh, I'm in Seattle. What am I talking about? At least I'm flying the route correctly this time, not doing it backwards. No, so Seattle, that'll be the Mariners Stadium then. That's what it'll be. I was wondering why it was a covered roof. I'm like, Oakland's not that rich a team. They don't have anything fancy like that. Thank you for pointing that out, Johnny. Oh my god, I'm so exhausted. Yeah, Aaron's coming in on that as well. Yeah, of course. No, it'll be the Mariners Stadium, which is a slightly more successful team, well, a much more successful team in Oakland. Oh dear. I was gonna say, yeah, Golden Gate. Golden Gate. Yeah, I'm looking for all these landmarks that don't exist. Oh man. All the West Coast cities look the same to me, man. Oh, fun times. Watch that wing flexing as we're good view of the mountains. Yeah, that kind of explains why we see the Rocky Mountains up here then. Oh my god. There's my one mistake for the flight. Johnny, you've missed 3 of them already. You've missed 3. Did you not see my pushback? Oh, it's a comedy of errors today. Make that coffee a double. You've got that straight. Yeah, absolutely straight. I am going straight for coffee after this. Gotta take my son to judo. So I'll probably I've got a jar of Tim Hortons coffee that was given to me by a colleague, so I'll probably make up a thermos. Oh, I love that wing view. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, should we? I haven't perused what Dan's collected for us today, so let's go have a look. I just, yeah, I woke up late today, Nick. So I did usually my 2-hour brief was shortened to 45 minutes, which was a little bit hectic. Okay, so topic 1, New Horizon Simulations mod for Latin VFR. I think some guys been talking about this already. Let's go get this.
Ooh, talking about London City, obviously they've got the A318, 319, the 320, and the 321.
Yeah, that's what I'm just looking at. I'm going to bring that up. So, this comes from FlightSim.to News, which I didn't even know was a thing. Yeah, 318 CEO, 319 CEO. And Beluga's flying that right now. He's flying the 321 Neo. Is it Neo or CEO, Beluga?
Yeah.
So shifted from a legacy build to a new, aligning with the same process as fly-by-wire headwind. Okay, so that's cool. So you're getting all the advantages of the fly-by-wire core development in the cockpit. And they've been moved to FPW development. Yeah, that's kind of similar to what's happening. Yeah, it sounds like a really strong team. So Horizon, what else does Horizon make then?
They do the 787.
The 787, right? Okay, got you.
Yeah, but they do the 788 variant, and they're working on the 789 variant. So
Okay.
we've got the 787X, which comes well, not default with the sim, but if you've got premium deluxe, it comes with the sim.
Yeah.
And then they've there's a mod called the Cura mod.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realise was obviously part of Horizon, who brought out the 788. Just stunning. I mean, it really works well. They worked really hard on that.
That's awesome.
And then a few weeks ago, they announced the 789. And as I said, when I found out it was Horizon and obviously joined their Discord, they do all of this as well. Now, the only unfortunate thing about the whole thing is that you have to buy the aircraft from Latin VFR.
Right.
So they have produced.
Oop, I got an alarm.
Probably no.
Why have I got an alarm? Cabin altitude. What?
Oh.
Oh. Tax.
Tax.
Yeah.
I hate Boeings for this.
Yeah, my passengers are dead. Well, we'll drop the oxygen mask for a while. They can
Yeah.
ride that up to 41,000 a year. Altitude will count up by then. And we can go into standard on there. And get the master caution.
Yeah,
Passengers are sleeping. they're ever so restful.
Yeah.
He's done a Vaughn. You're behind me, Captain Fozzie. Brilliant. That's what I was actually originally going to do, is see if I could spot you. Oh yeah, there he is. Fozzie's climbing up through 18,000. Nighthawk not far behind. Johnny and Beluga got a jump on us today. Get a beautiful look at the train there. APU Blue. Ooh. Yeah, I'm all over the map today, guys. All over the map. There you go. That's probably what the master caution is, then. So, yeah, there's absolutely no fighting chance for those passengers to breathe today. The bleed air was off, and so was the packs.
Yep.
Lucas-
Berkeley soon.
You won't be able to land. No worries. Well, at least you got up in the air with us, Beluga. Thanks for popping in on your limited schedule today. It's very much appreciated. Let's see if that Calvin altitude is starting to climb.
Dang.
I heard a noise. Subscribe? Subscribe. Looking at the wrong thing. Denny! Denny! Okay. Won't try to pronounce your last name, Denny. Denny has subscribed. Thanks, Denny. Welcome to the team. Do check out our Discord as well. Join the Positive Rate family. Welcome to the family, and make yourself known. Really glad to have you along. Thanks for coming in. Nighthawk says the Horizon 321 mod is 2 gigabytes in size. Wow. And it's based on FPW systems. Yeah, that's what I was seeing in the press release there, Nighthawk. Sorry, not looking at anything particularly interesting right now. Well, I was looking at the cabin altitude, wasn't I? Yeah, starting to climb now, so should be good. In about 5 minutes, we can tell the passengers to start breathing again.
I was saying the only downside, as I said, is the Latin VFR, which we have to use as the base model.
Right. Yeah.
Because it doesn't come in the sim. And I know when it was first released, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, 318, 318, and etc." And it was awful. But you know, these guys have come in and they've. I see them like as another fly-by-wire. That they've come in and taken a default aircraft and improved it.
Yeah, exactly.
And to be fair, they've done a fantastic job.
Look at Headwind.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when their 330 first came out, nobody. I mean, we didn't take it seriously. I think some people flew it. But see now, Headwind 330 is awesome.
Yep.
And it's really, for me, and I'll get shot down saying this, but until the PMDG 777 comes out, as far as I'm concerned, it's the only viable long hauler that we really have in Flight Simulator.
Or the A380.
Or of course the 380 comes out as well, yeah. But right now, right at this point in time,
yeah,
you know, if you want a VATSIM ready airplane, that's the only option you got.
Or the 787.
Which one?
The 787.
Yeah.
Because obviously you've got the 78X with working title.
Yeah.
Is fantastic now. It's
Is
fantastic. So yeah. So the mod, there was a heavy. I think it was heavy. I always get the two mixed up. But there was definitely a heavy division mod.
Right.
They were working on the 787-10 or X. And yeah, it was going okay. And then of course working title have come along and actually, and I think Microsoft have thought about, they've seen the reactions of the default aircraft they provided in the sim and realised that actually they're just not good enough, and they're not going to touch. They're not going to touch the A320 because they know the likes of Phoenix and the likes of Fly-by-Wire, and now these guys have improved it, so they're not going to invest any time into improving the default A320, but the things like the 787, the 747,
yeah,
they brought working title on board to do some improvements anyway, and then obviously said to them, right, okay, these are our two default aircraft. For the 787, people have actually paid extra for this, and what have they got? A pile of rubbish. Right, what can you do?
Yeah.
And what they've done is they've worked on it, and it's you know, the 787-10 is fantastic, and then Kuro bring out, or Horizon.
Nighthawk just mentioned that, yeah, the Kuro 787 mod, because it's an 800, isn't it? As opposed to.
Yes, yeah, and I've flown that one, and no problem at all. I haven't flown the version 2 yet, because that's coming out very soon.
Right.
So there's a version 2 for the 787 as well, which is supposed to improve it even more. I think they were waiting for the sim update, but understandably that's now been pushed back.
Well,
to the end of September.
And now for something completely different. Are you ready for this? TFDI has made an announcement.
Well, thank God for that, really, because I thought it was a bit dodgy, and so did everybody else what they were doing.
Yep.
But
October 16th. October 16th. Not just pretty much just around the corner. Now, is this the one that they were asking everyone to pay up front on the basis that they were going to get you right?
Yep.
And it's quite expensive, isn't it? It's
not cheap.
Was it 90 quid or something like that?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
So what's that, 100 US roundabouts? I mean that's old school pricing. It's old school pricing, and I'll tell you what. I hope it's good because the MD-11 is a fantastic airplane. It is such a weird mesh between old style controls and modern cockpit system, like glass cockpit systems. It's got this really weird kind of hybrid thing for it, and it's a very actually quite a bit of there's a bit of a, I would say, a bit of a learning curve for the MD-11 because it is completely different in many ways from anything else that people are probably used to at the moment. So on that, I hope it's good, and it better be for the price that they're charging.
I think the pricing. This is where the discussion comes in, because when they first made their announcement, and they said, "Oh, there's going to be 100 limited edition versions as well that you can buy." No one has seen the aircraft. They've seen a couple of pictures, and that was it.
Yeah.
And for that amount,
basically,
of money,
it was almost like, we're TFDI. Why do we have to say to prove anything to you? You know what I mean?
Give us your money, and we will eventually, and they want the word so eventually provide you with an aircraft. So these people, I mean, I didn't personally, which I held off. I'm just thinking, would I buy something that hasn't? I've seen no screenshots from. I've seen no working model.
Yeah.
Would I invest? And also, this was about the time that Phoenix came out at 50 quid.
This is it.
And they've asked for double. And I think the pricing situation nowadays is calming down a bit, because obviously they bought this out. Mad Dog had bought out their aircraft for the MD-80 for 80-90 quid.
Yeah.
There was this one that didn't even exist for 100
and,
quid.
And here's the thing. Who talks about the Mad Dog?
No.
So if you go on YouTube, right, and this is it, right? Because I think it one knock-on effect to another, right? Widespread access at affordable pricing is going to make you a lot more money than trying to hit that price point that you're expecting, because you've got some sort of figure and number of units in your head that you want to sell. But in terms of your residual sales, this really hurts you, and this is kind of the point I'm about to make here. If you go onto YouTube and you look at all the things that people are flying for Microsoft Flight Simulator, you will see FedEx, you will see Fly-by-Wire, absolutely. Working Title 787, a lot of people flying the Kuro, PMDG, all this stuff is available, and the reason for it, and PMDG, stroke of brilliance, and we've taken advantage of it. So they put out their initial product at, I think it was 70 US, is that right? Which was a surprise to everybody, because in the past PMDG's been a lot more expensive than that. But PMDG, I think, hit the nail on the head. They had a much bigger market. They didn't need to get as high a price point to make the money that they wanted to make. And I think the result has been they're still selling a heck of a lot more in the long run than they have been in the past, with all the different variants they've charged. And then they come out with the 7600 at like 30 US, which was unbelievable. And you're getting all the benefits, and that's what we're flying here today. So I'm happy to showcase that, because for the money that I paid for this, and I had to pay this out of pocket, we don't have any sponsorship from PMDG, I'm getting a full fidelity 737 and it's probably the most complicated airliner that I have in my personal fleet right now. So it's spectacular, and they have announced PMDG as well. It's not a news cycle, I don't think, that Dan's put up, but there has been some more announcements on the EFB. They've got a working build on it, and I think they said they're originally going to roll it out to the 700 first. And if that's all fine and well, then it'll be rolled out to the 600 and the 800 and the 900. So that's really good news from PMDG. But my hat's off to them. They've made a fantastic product. They recognize there's a few shortfalls. Those shortfalls are going to be corrected for no extra charge. And all I can say, Nick, is I could be, for the first time on this version of Flight Simulator, I could be a first-time day one buyer for the 777.
Yeah, I'd like to see their pricing.
So would I.
I would also say that Phoenix broke the mold, and I think that when they broke the mold with the Phoenix, it other developers and everything must have looked around and gone, "Uh-oh, hang on." People are spending a lot of money on that. Or not so much money, but a lot of people are buying it. And then the only problem I have with PMDG is that they've brought out 4 variants: the 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah. And they're charging pretty much the same price for all of them.
Individual one.
Save the 6.
Now, yeah.
Whereas I think before you had your high kind of buy-in price, and then you had very.
Of course.
But I mean, if you think about it, and sorry, I'll let you finish your point. If you think about it, though, they're probably gathering in the same amount of money. They're just dispersing the costs differently than what they have done in the past.
Yeah,
if you're getting all the variants,
they're preying on people buying their products because they're good. I admit, I bought the 900.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I bought the 700. Sorry, what was the first one out? It was a 7, wasn't it?
7.
It was a 7, 8, and then 6, and then 9.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I haven't even loaded into the 900. But that's the power of marketing. That's, I've never flown the 900, but I had to have it because it's PMDG and
you probably got
How much money have I spent on those 4 aircraft?
Oh, what, 250 pounds?
Yep.
US, whatever.
And I bought the Phoenix for 50 quid. Yeah?
Yeah.
And at the end of this month, end of September, I've been promised that I'm going to get IAE's engines for free.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the Sharklets beginning of January for free. I'm also, and I need to bring it up because I can't remember, I'm going to get an A321neo or CO, I can't remember. And 2 other, I think it's 2 other variants. Someone in chat can let me know because I can't bring it up on my computer at the moment. But for 40 quid, I think it's 30 quid.
Yeah.
Near Christmas.
Yeah.
So that gives me, I can't remember, but people were at the time were like, actually, that's going to be a load of new aircraft for that amount of money. And PMDG, and then saying, oh yeah, 60 quid for this one, 70 quid for this one, 30 quid for this one.
Exactly.
The only reason that I think the 600 was so cheap was because they realised that not many airlines now fly that one, and so people probably wouldn't want it, but it's a good, let's just jump into it and you can learn the systems.
Yeah. I'd like to see that same kind of pricing carry on. So maybe PMDG will have an epiphany on the 777. I don't know. I suspect not. Ralph doesn't surprise. He doesn't take. I don't get the impression that Ralph really cares what people think. Can I just give out a shout? Sorry, Nick. Can I give a shout out to Fuzzy Warbear who's joined us? I can see him in the air back there. How you doing, Fuzzy? Great to see you. And Nighthawk brings up an interesting one too, Nick. He says Blackbird's bringing out a C-130 Hercules soon. So now, my thoughts on that are okay, but I think it's a wait and see to see how the flight model and also the systems are. So but I would think. I mean, in terms of upcoming releases, I should actually look see what else Dan's collected for us here. Right, I don't need to bring up the link for this, but Flight Sim Expo, they're considering next year in Las Vegas, which I think makes a ton of sense. A ton of sense. Because the last year, the expo was in it was in some weird airport in Texas, wasn't it? It wasn't like in an international, it was like in a smaller airport. So a lot of people flying in internationally had to go to, like, I don't know, Houston or whatever, and then they had to get on a bus or something, or rent a car to get to the destination. And it wasn't, I think they did it on a price point basis, so they probably got a good deal with that hotel, but it was such a inhibitor for a lot of people to get to, because to get a direct flight was impossible for most people, right? Las Vegas is powerful because Las Vegas, first of all, has that city is built to host conferences, right? So many options they have in terms of conference centers and things like that. It's a massive destination, international destination, which means that you can get direct flights to Las Vegas from pretty much anywhere in the northern hemisphere. And in some cases, you should be able to get from the southern hemisphere on like one connection, maybe through Atlanta or through Miami or something like that, but or LAX. But it's, you know, it's such a good idea, and I hope that comes off, because I think that's going to be really popular for them. It could be the biggest expo that we've ever seen next year. What do you think, Nick?
Yes. I think actually in the last 24 hours it's been confirmed it is Las Vegas.
It is going to be Las Vegas, cool.
They've come up with some prices and stuff like that. But don't you feel as Europeans are missing out? It's a lot of money to fly to Las Vegas, let's face it.
It is.
And you know,
but then
number two, it's Las Vegas, and trust me, you are not going to spend your whole time the whole 3 days at the Events Expo, because it's Las Vegas.
No, but then that's the point, right? So, and think about it this way, because I do know a lot of people do go to Las Vegas for various reasons, right? How perfect is it that, say, if you go with a couple, or maybe someone goes with their family, and they say, okay, I'm going to spend the first day at the expo, or maybe the next day at the expo. You guys go off and do something. There's tons of stuff to do in Vegas, right? And then, you make a family holiday out of it. I think it's brilliant. And whereas, and just for people traveling on their own, I mean, they're not going to go just for the expo. They're going to go and enjoy Las Vegas. They might catch a show at night. They might go to that new Sphere, which is just phenomenal. I really want to see that. It's on my bucket list.
I know. I think I'm just saying, you know, FS Expo is obviously, it's an American thing. It's always been based in the States.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's not going to change.
No, and because the likes. I remember Two-Tone Murphy a few weeks ago when they were voting on which city to have FS Expo in. Before the shortlist to be done, he was like, "Come on, guys, let's get somewhere in Europe." And then, of course, he turned around and went, "Oh, scrap that! Of course, it's got to be in America." Yeah, I just wonder, sometimes, maybe they should do. Maybe we should have something in Europe. I don't think there is.
Well, we did. No, there has been in the past.
There was. What's the one?
I'll give you a hint. One of our sponsors was the chief organizer for it.
Just right.
Yeah. There used to be an expo in RAF Coningsby.
That's the one.
Yeah. So I'd like to see that come back.
Yeah.
I mean, Nighthawk does make a good point. It was at the Lone Star Flight Museum in Houston. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's typically what happens, right? They find a museum, and I look nothing against Lone Star Flight Museum in Houston, right? But again, I'll come back to my original point. it's hard for me to justify flying to anywhere in America on my own. Okay, because if I'm going to do that, if I'm married, I got kids, I'd rather try and do something either as a couple or as a family. How am I going to sell that? Hey, do you fancy going to Texas and then going to some place outside of Texas, which is a flight museum? My kids have been dragged to so many flight museums over the years. It's unbelievable. And no, it's not going to fly. But if I say, hey, you guys want to go to Vegas? Done deal. So it's all about, how to incentivize people to come to a major international destination. That's a good way to do it. Not to mention the fact that Vegas knows, they are proficient, they are expert in being able to manage large crowds coming to conferences. They're absolutely, it's probably in the world, it's probably the best place you can go to have a conference for anything, because the transport links are great. The hotels are great. Yeah, go ahead.
So is London.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that example.
No, yeah, or Birmingham for that matter.
Or Birmingham, or Germany,
But nobody wants to go to Birmingham.
Definitely not, and I wouldn't advise anyone to go.
And I mean London, yeah. So London in the same vein, yeah.
I'm not saying London because I live in London. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, for the expense of going out there,
yeah,
to the States for that event, it would be nice if there was something in perhaps Europe that the people, not an alternative, something to tie in as well.
Okay.
So that you could meet. So I mean, let's face it. So that you could meet the Microsoft team. So that you could meet the Orbx team, the Just Flight team, and stuff like that. Just somewhere. Like a European expo, so you've got the American one. So if you want to go over to Las Vegas,
why not?
Fantastic.
They should do something like where's Gamescom? That's in Germany, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's an enormously successful event. It's very well loved as well.
If you look at the demographic, people that are flying, the flight simmers all over the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about the people that live in Singapore and India and places like that, trying to get to Vegas?
True.
I think that
True.
I just think it's fair. I would think it's fair that if someone came up with the idea of a European one, or maybe even a Middle East one, Dubai or somewhere like that. I mean, the Australians, they haven't got anything. They've got to cross the Pacific to go to Las Vegas. Which again, there are flights and everything. That's fine. But
yeah.
But for people of a younger age who cannot, they're not even earning enough to pay for the airfare.
Well, it's expensive.
Like that,
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
giving that local option, where the likes of Microsoft and Orbx and whoever can all reach out and go, okay, well, we'll meet you in Germany or in France or in Spain or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Come and see what we're developing. A lot of it we just sit and look at our computers or our tablets or our phones and go, oh well, this is FX Expo 2023 or whatever. Let me have a look at see what's been announced.
And partly this is why it's a hard sell, right? Because I mean, if you look on the gaming side, not sim side, but E3 used to be the event every year for all games, and it's been decimated, not because people didn't like the event, but for all the reasons you're saying. It was expensive to get to, but a lot of people now consume all of their big announcements through watching YouTube, reading, on the internet, right? So there's not the same incentive to go to a destination to see kind of any announcements. Now, having said that, Flight Simulator is different in the sense that when you go to an expo, you get to see a lot of really cool stuff. Like you might get to try out the new a new throttle quadrant, or a yoke or something like that. You'll see cockpit setups. There's a lot more kind of physical that being on space and being able to meet people in person, getting to know people in the community, I think, but that's what separates us from the general gaming industry, is the fact that we're much more community oriented, niche in the marketing world. So it is nice to have those personal relations. I mean, for you and me at Positive Rate, it'd be great to meet up with Orbx and Just Flight and have, a chin wag with Martin, have a chin wag with Mirabel. I'd absolutely love to see them. Yeah, I'd love to see them in person. Sante, in fact, Sante was at the expo in Texas. And he had reached out to me directly and said, "Are you coming?" He was really hoping that I was going to be there. And I was like, "No, I just can't afford it." So I do agree with what you're saying. If there was a European kind of variant, I couldn't justify Texas, but you're right. I could absolutely probably find a way to justify Hamburg or Frankfurt or wherever it was. Chinwag Waffle, yeah. Popping in to say hi. Hi, Dark. How you doing? Learning to fly. Sorry, I missed you early. You said hi. Nice to see you, mate. Hope you're doing okay.
I just think sometimes it's nice to. And I get FX Expo 2024. It's a time to meet up with people from all around the world, etc., etc. I mean, as a Discord group, EasyJet Pilot and us, we all met up in Manchester. It was that type of thing. We did. It was, and it's great to see people behind the name tag. It's great. It was just my opinion. FS Expo. It's known to be in America. That's fine. But let's hope Just Flight think to themselves, actually, now is the time. We're out of COVID and everything. We've got some exciting stuff coming up.
Well, that's what killed the British Expo originally, was COVID. Yeah. And then
let's get something over here or in Europe.
But this is where things got interesting, because I actually did talk to Martin in length about this. Privately, and because I said, well, if you're gonna do the next expo, because we assumed naturally that they were probably going to do one in 2022, never happened, and then I thought, well, maybe 2023, that's not happened, nor is it going to happen. But I think where they've gotten to at this point is, well, at the end of the day, it costs them money, right? And they can charge ticket at the door, they can maybe get to a break even or a slight profit, fair enough. But it's all about how much energy are we going to put into that event versus maybe just focusing our energy on development, getting products out the door. And of course, the way that even Just Flight promotes and everyone else, it's all through the internet anyway. It's through content creators, through influencers. They don't need the expo, I guess is the point I'm saying, right? To be successful. Whereas in the past, it was probably a core part of their promotion activities as a business. It's not anymore. So it really comes down to, from a software side of it, what return on investment are they going to get from making all that effort? Now, there is the soft benefit of, because you're connecting with the community, you're putting names to faces, etc., and that's a big deal. And I do agree that that's important. But you're only going to impact a very small portion of the flight simulation market, which is something like 2 million strong worldwide. I think that's a rough guess. But how many people are you going to have at that event? Maybe 10,000 if you're lucky. So that is a very, very small fragment of the people that you're trying to reach. And it really comes down to, well, how big a deal they think that is. Now, if you're someone like Thrustmaster or Turtle Beach, completely different story. Or Flight Deck Solutions, or that kind of thing. Completely different story. You want to get your products out. You want people to try them, because that will generate sales, right? But again, that's still achieved through influencers and content creators. They can show it on YouTube. They can show how it works.
Yeah, no. I absolutely.
So before you jump in, Nick, I just want to say a big shout out to Brett Plays. He's come in. He says, hello, Willie Canuck and fellow viewers. Social media and online activity is now stronger than in-person shows, correct? Yeah, there you go. Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
But, I mean, for the likes of Thrustmaster, I think it would be advantageous for them to have something where you can go and experience and test out their hardware.
Yeah.
I memean, most of us here are probably bought our TCA packs, Airbus packs, etc., etc.
Not me. Not me. I got a Frankenstein setup. I've got the I got a Thrustmaster T16000, which actually I got two of them.
Yeah,
I got two.
We bought it on. We bought it on seeing the street. There was nowhere we could actually physically go and go. Okay, Bob, let me try this out. How does it feel? You know, will I like it?
Yeah.
And it's a huge investment. Hardware is a huge investment for people.
Yeah, it is. Although there's a lot of there's cheaper ways to get into it than there used to be comparatively. If I go back to 10, 15 years ago, I think there's a lot more options now at different price points. I think that yes, you do have to spend a bit of cash, but it's not as hard hitting on the wallet as it needs to be, as it could be.
If you've got a limited amount of funds, it's nice to go somewhere and just go, oh, is this going to suit me? Let me have a little go.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I think. I mean, you know what? The weird thing, on most streamers, you will see on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, you will see their throttles, you'll see their joysticks, their yokes, etc. You never see their rudder pedals. The rudder pedals is a massive investment for some people.
I don't know. Maybe because people are afraid of their feet. I remember this.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? If you
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Big shout out. I don't know if he watches much, but a big shout out to Michael Drya.
Right.
And he was kind of getting into sponsors like hardware stuff, and there was this. It was like a seating rig, so it was like you had the chair and it had the metal frame, and you could put your yoke on it, your throttle on it, and your pedals. And so he's got a video clip of him showing how this all works, and he's got it all together. And I just remember him sitting there with, he had these like the ugliest pair of brown socks I've ever seen in my life on the pedals, and I was just looking like, oh, that ain't good. But the thing is, like, if you it depends on the pedals, but most people, I don't use shoes on the pedals because because it's the sensitivity is really hard to gauge on pedals at home. I dare say there's probably some pedals that work better with shoes than others, but certainly I've got the Thrustmaster, the basic ones. You're not going to use shoes on that because if you got too much weight in your feet, you're just going to shift everything hard to the left or the right all the time. That's very, very difficult. So I'm not going to show. You're not going to see any camera footage of my pedal use, because
no, I think my point is that if there was an expo in Europe, for instance, that if you were looking to make an investment, and you knew that, say, Thrustmaster were there and plus other people, you could say, you know what, I'm going to make a trip of this. I've saved up my money for rudder pedals or whatever. I can actually go out there and try them on a flight sim because Thrustmaster will be there, and the chances are I'm going to get a discount because I'm actually there, and stuff like that. It's just giving the world an opportunity to visit somewhere a little bit closer than me having to pack up a suitcase
and Dark,
to Vegas.
Dark said that we need Expo back in the UK. We absolutely do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it comes down to
or Europe. I'm not dissing out Europe.
I think, but then Just Flight was the driver for that. So the thing is, if they don't want to be the driver, then that's not stopping anyone else from being the driver. And I'm sure Just Flight would attend, given the choice, given the option. They just don't want to be like the main organizers because obviously there's a lot more work involved than just showing up to show your stuff off, right? So it really comes down to that. And there's been in the past, not necessarily in Europe, but certainly in the States, there have been past characters, I'll say, that wanted to be the organizer, created events, and just ended up alienating every third party that showed up because they were just complete arseholes. And I won't get into details on that. But Dark says, I'm building my Boeing stuff on my new toy and then getting rid of my TCA. Yeah. Brett says, I bought SeaTac Rhino X55 at a Penny Arcade XPO in Melbourne because I could get my hands on it. 2014. Yeah, that's going back. 400 quid investment for Dark. That's what he's spending. Okay. The captain says he's going to try and make Flight Expo next year in Vegas. Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, I think a lot of people are interested in that because it's Vegas, right? And Brett says, if I ever do a pedal video, I'm going to get some fancy socks just because you mentioned this. Oh, absolutely funny. Listen, I'm just going to... we're getting close to our top of climb. I'm still a wee ways off. I'm just going to grab another glass of water. I'll be right back. If you could just talk with everyone on the stream, Nick, that would be great.
Yep, no problem. But you haven't spent 400 quid on rudder pedals, have you, Doc? What are you talking about, Marie? I do use shoes with my rudder pedals, to be fair, because I've got the TPRs and they need it. I don't know whether everyone agrees that we could really do with something like FS Expo, just dotted around the globe at maybe different times of the year or whatever, just to give everybody the opportunity to attend and just see what's out there, because what you're watching on stream when FS Expo's going on is only what the person behind the camera wants you to see. I'm pretty sure that there's quite a few stands and vendors and developers that are at those shows that don't receive as much viewing as others. As you said, like the likes of Microsoft Flight Sim and Thrustmaster, etc. You know, they're going to get the main attention, and it's the little guys in the background that have decided to turn up that a lot of us need to support to keep them going, because they're the innovators. They're bringing the new stuff on. Global, Dark, or as in online global, or just all over the world, different venues that we can all attend. But if you look at the Navigraph do that survey every year, don't you? And it's I think it's Navigraph that do the simulation software, the simulation survey, and a lot of kids use it, and you know they're not going to get a chance to go to Vegas, but if you had somewhere around the world that happened to be local to you, it gives them the opportunity. They're the future people coming into it, and they can see what's going on.
I'm back.
Excellent. Yeah, different venues, Dark, for people to go.
And Brett says both Thrustmaster and Flight rudder pedals and a set of Logitech Flight Simulator rudder pedals. Was that the old SeaTac pedals, I think, wasn't it? Kept the latter, sold the first two due to my feet being big. He didn't want the... Yeah, that is the downside with the basic Thrustmaster ones, I will say that. It's hard to... be more accurate on them for that reason, because your legs are so close together, so you don't feel like you have the same kind of leverage.
Oh, I'm excited, Doc.
What's he saying? Your flat 3D prints. All right. What's that?
Doc managed to get himself a 3D printer.
Oh God.
Yes. So as soon as he told me, I was like, right, let's have a look at this. And we found some lovely for the TCA throttles, Airbus throttles. Flap lever just flips up and down. Obviously, it's got detents.
Yeah.
So you get flap 1, flap 2, flap 3, flap 4, and it just moves. But he managed to find a 3D printed attachment or what's the word I'm looking for? A change to it that we can you then actually do as they do on the plane and lift up the thing and then bring it back and click it into place.
Oh, okay.
That's one
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So, Doug is
Customize.
customizing it. He's made, I think he's made himself some, and now he's saying, "Why not?"
You can sell them,
Coach
Dark.
Primer. Yeah, that's what I told him that.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of different people selling kits for like modifying throttles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Cloud Viper. Hey, how you doing, brother? Our good friend from India, awesome content creator. Go check out his YouTube. Brett says, I bought a Logitech full set yoke pedals, first with the other options, then a second in Thrustmaster with a Honeycomb A and B. Sold the Logitech set with the Thrustmaster, and kept what I wanted, yeah. And, you know, sometimes that's how you get to where you want to be. And a Honeycomb, obviously, is going to... it's quite a good set to have. Dark Fury says, don't forget the speed brakes.
Yeah, that was another project.
Alright, top of descent is pushing about 100 miles. We are closing in, folks. We're closing in. Talk about our approach briefing thing. So we are coming in Windsor 2 approach. I'll be intercepting Spammy. That's the transition point in through Windsor. There's a few restrictions coming all the way down, and then onto our ILS approach for runway 30. So that's a 296 108.7. I'll need to set those just now so I don't forget. And we'll be coming in via Parab, so that we kind of vector across there. I'll then make a turn in Parab, drop into 4500 as we make towards 2700 platform, touching down on runway 30. So while I'm thinking about that, 296 108.7. So we get that dialed in down here first. There we go. One less thing to worry about. I really should ding the cabin to see if the passengers are still alive. I'm not quite sure.
I think they
Didn't put the seatbelts on. Terrible. Mind you, the cabin crew is probably dead too. So
Yeah, yeah.
I could radio ahead for you know, the coroner. Cloud Viper says, yeah, really high, which model? It's the 737-600, which actually has quite a lot of power for its size. But yeah, for whatever reason, we got 41,000 this time. So we're making good time as well because of that. Almost pushing Mach 8, or 0.8, which is great. Brett says, yes, sometimes you can't pass a bargain. $300 Aussie for the Honeycomb. Well, that's a really good deal. For the A and B, 300 US Aussie. What a bargain!
150 quid.
Good lord, that's a hell of a deal. Cloud says, no, that's when you turn on the seatbelt. Yeah, no, I'm flying on very little sleep, Cloud. I got back from London real life last night, so I'm a bit tired. Dan says, sorry, been AWOL. I've been busier than usual than this morning. No, that's no worries, Dan. We know you're lurking about.
As always.
Speaking of Dan, what's our final news point here? Let me just go pull it up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Airport sim. Oh, yeah. Airport sim. Releasing, so I guess this is the full release because they've had a kind of preview build out for some people, haven't they? October 19th, 2023. Yes, or what as I call it, the baggage handler simulator. It's interesting. This doesn't really interest me personally.
It's not for me.
Right? But in terms of all the sims that you get, like farm sim and building sims and truck sims, you know, it totally fits into that. I have watched some footage of some good friends of ours trying it out. It does look good, I must admit. I think that if you're interested in airport operations, and maybe this is the drawing line for me, you know, if you're interested in airport operations, it's something you're going to love. If you just want to understand how airports work and you want to be kind of like that participant in the process, I get it. I think the problem for me is because I've flown so much in real life, I know how airports work and I just don't care.
Actually, I've just read it's been massively supported by MK Studios, who bought us the likes of Rome, Lisbon, Keflavik, etc. So,
right.
So I think it will look good. MK Studios.
I mean, you can drive the bus, you can drive the fuel truck. I mean, it looks cool, right? I can see.
I just want to fly the plane.
I can see the appeal to it. Yeah, Brett's with me. He says good graphics. Big Jack will play with it. It was mayhem. It looked great. Not for me though. Yeah. So, but you know, a lot of people will like it. Now, what I think would be cool, and this is a blue sky idea I had over a decade ago. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get away driving the truck like that. There's your mayhem there. There's your mayhem, Brett. Look at this. Yeah, I mean...
Is J-Hog driving that?
I have no idea. But, I mean, it looks good, right? I think that... I can't remember what my train of thought was going to be here.
You had an idea a few years ago.
Yeah, I had an idea, blue sky idea a years ago. If you could link up all these things together, right? So, if you had somebody that was interested in doing all the ops stuff, or maybe even multiplayer, where you had a fuel truck driver, you had baggage guys, you had you know, all the different stuff, the catering car, or catering vehicle. The steps, right? But it would be cool if all that could link together. So when you flew out of an airport, once you booked into an airport, it was actually real players doing all the little bits and pieces around you to get your plane ready. I think that would be pretty cool.
Wouldn't you get annoyed? I know the likes of HD would get annoyed. You know, come on, hurry up! What are you doing?
It'd probably be true to life. You know what? If you ask HD, it'd be like he would. Yes, he would get annoyed because he already gets annoyed at the real people.
Yeah.
Right.
We've got back to him. We've got back to him already. So if you think about it, you've got that integration.
Yeah.
With air traffic control. Now,
Yep.
the one thing I would say, and I've always thought, or I had to think, you know, these people that play Train Sim and Euro Trucker,
Yeah.
and
Careful, because there's quite a few of them that play it or watching.
no. But how about? Wouldn't it be great if it could all be
all linked together?
So that while you're flying over, you've got trains going by, because we don't have
Exactly.
trains. We have cars, we have lorries, we don't have trains.
And then you just have
and
one guy that's basically or that one person that's just trying to navigate the world, but it's actually real people kind of transporting.
You go to the likes of the freeway at Gatwick, and there's trains, but they don't actually go anywhere. They move a bit.
Yeah.
And Gavin said yesterday on his members stream about, you know, he'd love to see sheep in the fields. Doesn't that come part of farming sim? I don't know, but I've never played it. Dan would play it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you know what? In the fullness of time, I think we will see something like that. But it's kind of getting more akin to Ready Player One, if you ever seen that film. You know, where it's all like a giant integrated kind of universe. But yeah, I certainly from the sim side of it, though, I think that'd be really neat. Brett kind of. He's tripped onto that. He says, I like the idea of truck sim being linked to flight sim, deliver cargo around the country or world. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Aaron says, don't bash farm sim. Grr. No, my son likes it. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing at the moment? I'm plowing a field. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough, you know.
Yep.
Nighthawk, does Microsoft 2024 have any ground handling in it? No. Well,
We don't know.
depends what you mean by ground handling.
We don't know, do we? Who knows
Mr.
what they're going to do?
Earlier comment from Brett was, good graphics-wise, watch Big Jacko play it. It was mayhem, but it looked great. Oh no, I read that already. Okay. Kept getting running over by the plane. Yeah, that sounds like Dave. That sounds like Dave.
I was thinking about this the other day. Obviously, this time next year, hopefully we will have 2024.
Yes.
More about what's actually happening.
And hopefully, subject to penalty of death, all of the add-ons that we got will work seamlessly with it.
That was my biggest shock.
But based on, I've read into detail on this, and based on what Asobo have said, that is the plan. So,
Yeah, we've heard about those plans before.
well, I mean, yeah, you know, I get the whole thing. I get the whole thing. The studio's talking. Well, I get the whole thing. The studio's talking. You know, one thing happens, and they say one thing, another thing happens. But on the whole, I think Asobo has been pretty faithful to their messaging. And I've made this point before. If they're going to come out with a new sim and, you know, make it put blockers in for porting all the investment that people have spent so far into that new sim, and yes, they did do this in the past, they're going to trash the market. They're going to trash their massive customer base that they have right now. They won't do it. There's so much more opportunity to grow it even more, and I think it's more about just them wanting to lean the platform out, because I think at the moment, because this is the first real major new build of flight simulator that we've seen in the last, well, since the dawn of time, really. It's more about how much it costs them to maintain it, and they're trying to build a platform that's going to be much more streamlined, and, you know, all the lessons learned that they've picked up since they built 2020. So I think I'm really encouraged to see what will happen with it. I think we will see a lot more performance enhancement. I think we'll see a lot more. We'll probably see things like DLSS3 and FSR3 support out of the box. So that could make a huge difference as well. And if all those add-ons work, and based on what they're saying, it's like, you know, it'll support the legacy stuff. It's just if any developer wants to take advantage of the enhanced, speaking specifically about aircraft, wants to take advantage of the enhanced fluid dynamics impact, they can do that, but they don't have to. Right? It just means they can be all that more accurate if they want to enhance the product. The question I have is, what are third parties going to do? Right? And that's out of Asobo's control. So the third parties, it's been made known that third parties have a very, almost pretty much straightforward, very low yield path to port the products into 2024 without making any massive changes to the product. Okay? The question is PMDG just going to say, fine, yeah, we'll just port it over, everything's good, here's your free update for your 737 or your 777, go enjoy, guys, in 2024? Or would third parties potentially use this opportunity to say, actually, no, what we're going to do is release a version specific for 2024, and we're going to charge money for it, and maybe an upgrade fee or something like that? That's out of Asobo's control. Well, I wouldn't put past some of them.
You know what, when following social media after that announcement, I mean,
yeah.
I was at work at the time when it was announced, and I was like, oh no. And then obviously Microsoft said a day later, you know, we've done this wrong, we should have said, you know, that all your add-ons and everything will be compatible. Yeah. And a lot of the top developers, although I don't remember seeing anything from PMDG, but said, you know, it will be a free, if we need to do something, it will be free.
Yes.
And that's the likes of
wait and see. Wait and see.
Wait and see.
wait and see.
As far as like sceneries and stuff like that, a lot of developers have already turned around and said it will be free. They're not charging you again.
Okay.
Which I agree with. You know.
Well, I agree with it. I just don't necessarily believe universally that that's going to be the case across the board.
No,
I could say I'll speak for speaking on behalf of our sponsor, Just Flight. I think they'll absolutely do that. Right?
Yeah. But if you even if you look in the sim at the moment, you've got the likes of MK Studios charging you twice for doubling for an upgrade.
Yeah,
because it's got a new runway. that was everyone was like, what? Hang on.
Scenery designers, that's a different ball of wax, but yeah.
You open your emails up, and every day it's like, oh, this product's been updated. This product's been updated. They're not asking me for money. They're just saying, yeah, we want to improve. We want to move forward. And as I said, when those developers came out a couple of days later or a day later and went, you know what? We're going to do it for free because this is an exciting new sim, or exciting new platform, and they've said that we can use it. If there is a problem, we will fix it and we will do it for free.
Yeah, fair enough. I just catch up on the chat quickly. So Brett says, I freaked out the moment I bought planes and then remembered I'm still adding 2004 FSX aircraft to MSF. Really? Wow. Will they find a way around it? Yeah, they will, absolutely. Stu says just say DLS 3.5. Yeah. If you have an NVIDIA card, that's the thing I like about FSR3 from AMD is it works on any card. So that's I think they're doing it just to wind up NVIDIA, to be honest with you. But I'm looking forward to that because I have an older NVIDIA card that can't use DLSS at all. So Brett says some may charge a move over fee, but I already know I can move files myself. Yeah, but it's not just that, Brett. It's there. So there is a genuine opportunity for them to enhance the product for 2024 for the flight dynamics, right? You could argue that maybe a small upgrade fee for that would be useful, or they might have a version specific that takes advantage of that. But it shouldn't get in the way of just taking what you already have and using that in the new sim. And I think that's kind of what we're focusing on at the moment. Aaron says, don't hold your breath. They will all charge. They always have. Yes, they have. Aaron, going by the past, you're absolutely right. Precedent says they've always charged an upgrade. So, and like Nick says, this is what they've said. And I'll wait and see what actually happens. I think some of them will honor that, and some of them might have different thoughts when they're thinking about buying a new iPad for their kids for Christmas or something like that. Maybe we should get some more pennies in the bank. Nighthawk says, I'm not sure about Aerosoft and the CRJ. Twin Otter not charging fees for... Well... Nighthawk, I'm going to dodge Aerosoft completely on this, because at the moment, and I don't think I'm the only one, I have deep concerns about Aerosoft as a company right now. I really don't know what's happening, and I think the pending Airbus 330 release is really going to be a telltale sign of where they're going right now as a company. I don't think Aerosoft is what they used to be. I think they've lost some key people, either through tragedy or through just natural wastage, people leaving, etc. They lost one of their key people to PMDG, which is probably going to hurt if that's true. I know it was a rumor. I don't know if it was actually confirmed. Aerosoft, I think it's just a wait and see, mate. But I have deep concerns about what's happening with them right now. But your companies like Fenix, PMDG, Just Flight, I think for the most part we should see some good options, and whether they charge or not, I don't know. We'll just have to wait. And Stu says, hi Stu, how are you doing? Okay, top of descent is coming up, so the VNAV should kick in automatically. I've already preset our platform in 2700. So the VNAV should fly the constraints all the way down. And it's just monitoring the aircraft and making sure that everything goes to plan. So I'll just give a quick ding to the cabin crew just to let them know.
Pretty sure they won't hear you.
Oh yeah, they're dead, aren't they? They're dead. Okay, I can see the VNAVs kicked in, so that's good. The thrust going to idle.
You realise when no one bought your coffee.
No, I know. I forgot my pager downstairs. Unfortunately, I was going to ask one. And yes, a completely different land from where we left off. We were flying over very green and lush areas, and we're now kind of into our desert and barren areas. Apart from all the well-kept lawns down there, anyway. There's that farmland. Could be farmland. Yeah. As we head down to Oakland, and we are now coming into the. What was that approach again? Windsor 2 approach. Spammy is the entry point for that, so that's what we're looking for. We got to be below flight level 260 when we hit it, so I'm sure the VNAV will take care of all that for us. It is a clever plane, the 737 it is. So what have you been flying the most lately, Nick, when you're out in the sim? Are you favoring one aircraft over the other, or are you trying to give yourself a good bit of variety?
At the moment, I'm playing catch-up. I'm a member of two virtual airlines, Southwest and British Airways. So obviously Southwest is Boeing.
Yeah.
And I joined them because, number one, it's Boeing and I can use my Boeing stuff.
Okay.
And fly to airports in America, because I'm there's just so many airports in America.
Tons.
That I've never been to.
Tons.
And so I thought, and they're a great virtual airline. So I thought, right, this is my time to experience America. So I've got my British Airways, which does all my European, blah, blah, and etc., which I fly in the Airbus.
Yep.
And then Boeing, I fly around in the States. So at the moment, I had to. There's time constraints. They expect you to fly after a certain amount of time. And I got a ping from Southwest saying, "You haven't flown for us for a while. Are you still want to be a part of this?" And I was like, "Oh, yep. Hang on, let me get 5 flights in." And then 2 days ago, I got a ping from BA going, "Yep, you haven't. You need to file something within the next 5 days, otherwise we'll
You're out."
you." And I was like, "Oh, right." So.
And it sounds harsh, but the thing is, they're held to account by VATSIM as well, aren't they? So.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's the one thing that puts me off virtual airlines at the moment is my time is so unpredictable, and there might be times that I can't fly for a long time, and it's
you can put yourself on leave. I mean, there's no problem with that.
Yeah.
They have like leave options and stuff like that. It's just the time just flies by, and
it does. I mean, next thing it's like 4 weeks, and you're getting reminder messages saying you're going to get kicked out of the VA.
It's been a month, and I'm like, what? Hang on. And sometimes it's because I'll be flying the Airbus, and I'll be I'll do multiplayer flights in the evening or whatever, and they're not routes, and they don't file them, so they're just places I just go to. And then I think, oh no, hang on a minute, I need to rein it in and just do a quick flight just to stay on board, because a lot of these VAs as well have loads and loads and loads of documentation and everything all in their sites, websites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Valuable information. So it's always good to have. I mean, the BA one does. Obviously, they fly 777s as well, so I'll be digging into all of that when PMDG bring out the 777.
Yeah.
And I'll have all the documentation there ready. So yeah, it's. That's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be doing a British Airways flight, I think.
Sounds good.
But with that, I'm going to say goodbye because I need to get ready to go to this appointment. So
not at all, Nick. Thanks for coming along. It's been a long time since we had you on the chat as well, so it's been great. I've really enjoyed your company today. Thank you.
No problem. See you guys all later.
Yeah. Take care, Nick. All the best. Sorry guys, I'm just double checking my decision height here. Radio is 109. So. Radio. Brett said, well, Oakland, what state? Yeah, as Nighthawk says, it's California. It's right across from San Francisco. Right across the bay. Okay, and that's us coming in the Spammy, so we're now joining the approach. The flight profile is 5x5. Airplane slowly bringing the speed down. Bye chat, says Nick. Now, great to have Nick on, and a big shout out to Dan today for some great news stories that we were talking about this week. So, and Dan, very soon we'll see his handiwork. So Dan is been promoted to post-production, which be kind of pre-post-production is probably the best thing, but or production support. So Dan's going to be doing some. He's going to be doing a brand new opening for us for the stream, and he's a bit of a master at putting flight sim videos together. So we're going to see some good stuff from him soon, and hopefully this October we'll have our autumn refresh of the positive rate opening video. So we're really looking forward to that. And if you have any ideas about what you want to see in that video, let Dan know. It looks like we're getting a little bit of cloud cover down here as we come in over the mountains. What if I can see the other guys still? Yeah, so there's Stu. Stu's he looks like he's dropping below me. Nighthawk coming down as well, and looks like Fozzie's started his descent as well. Let's see if we can land this thing. Okay. Okay, we haven't switched our VOR or our nav radios over yet, but we'll do that as soon as we get closer. But anyways, asking the chat, we talked about a bit about what we've seen in the marketplace for flight sim. Is anything that anybody has seen that they're interested in? Because it kind of went through the summer was a bit of a quiet news month, I think, for flight sim. 29 barrel. No, I'm on radio. Cap Fuzzy. I'm using radio. It said 109 on the chart for radio. Yeah, I think, but I've been so busy at work. I just haven't had a chance to really troll the interwebs to see what's coming out for Flight Simulator these days. Plus, I've been playing a lot of Starfield, which I've been enjoying thoroughly. When I actually have time to play, it's quite an interesting game. Brett agrees. He thinks it's been quiet lately. It has, yeah. I think we'll probably see kind of more news coming out as we get into towards Christmas. And big news, obviously, the MD-11. If you didn't catch it earlier, guys, has been announced for October 16th or 13th. I can't remember. So that's a huge deal. I don't think anybody expected to be out yet this year. And of course, we're all waiting on bated breath to find out if PMDG is going to make an announcement on the 777. Brett says, I know stuff that is coming out, but you're not allowed to say by NDA. Not fair enough. I would not want you to avoid an NDA. I would not want you to do that, sir. And I'm getting called from the back, guys. I'll be right back. Bear with me. Right back. Okay, back with you. Back with you. Nighthawk says, I think there was a Microsoft Flight Simulator update with a new plane next week. All right, what plane's that? Does anybody know? Hadn't heard anything about that. Is this one of their Aviation Legends kind of releases? They've mixed kind of reception on those. I've been interested in some of them and less as much in some of the other ones. But the one thing I do like is they don't seem to charge too much for them, which is good. So you know, I got the was it the Buffalo that came out? That was quite interesting. Albeit a very basic aircraft, but as a Canadian, it's a little bit of our heritage, so it was nice to get that. Okay, checking in. We're coming into our next restriction, so that is 13,000 below at Weber. And we can see that cloud cover is starting to really build in now. Perhaps somebody could do a METAR check for me for Oakland. The last time I looked, it was 299 or 6. It's the Caribou. That's the one I'm thinking of, Nighthawk. The Caribou, yeah. Just wish there was a proper autopilot. Well, I mean, to be fair, if they did, it was retrofitted. I don't think they. I think they were quite manual planes back in the day. Brett says the got friends F4 Phantom. Yeah. Okay. Oh no, it's Wildcat. Sorry, I read that wrong. Now that's interesting. Yeah, Wildcat. Yeah, that is the one of the unsung heroes of the Pacific World War. And I can put those seat belts on. Well, they should have been on. Should have been off, rather. Has a lot of extras. What are the juicy extras, Brett? Tell us. What are the ones that are catching your attention? Droppable bombs. Oh, right. Okay. Which I guess is okay. I mean, I'm just not a huge fan of putting combat elements into Flight Simulator because, for me, it's the one thing that we have which isn't about combat or killing or explosions. You know. But you know, from an authenticity perspective, I can understand why people might want that. Oh, there's Tony. He says, "Evening to you and evening to the boys and ladies on the channel. How are you doing, Tony? I hope you're doing well." So, carrier landing, cool. Foldable wings, very nice, very nice. It won't be the first add-on to do that, but it's always good. Very good for detail. I think I can't remember who did it, but it was the F4U Corsair. I think that had foldable wings. Okay, so we can see the runway on the grid there. Actually, we could probably put that in. Drag required. Oh, it's gone off again. Give us some drag, sir. Get that airplane down the speed. Actually, we can put speed intervention now, so let's take it to 250. 240 actually is what it wants, based on the restrictions. So we'll try and slow that plane down. Nighthawk says my DCS hangar has a lot of combat ready aircraft. A4 Skyhawk, very cool. It's better than most, is it? Wow. They'll do well for details, says Brett. They updated the Beaver 2 with a lot more special effects. Yeah, I think we're actually looking at doing a flight with the Beaver soon. We're going to go back to Bora Bora and actually do some water landings this time. So that should be good. The Corsair does have folding wings, yeah, thanks Stu. Okay, game time. Runway course was 296, wasn't it? It's 296. Alternate. Oh. What's the inversion for 296? Oh. 116. Oh, bubble. How do I do these? Fix. Okay, Oak. And we want to be in miles. So. There we go. Just gives a little bit of guidance. Nighthawk says Great Barrier Reef is a good place for water. Good idea. Good idea. Nighthawk, maybe drop a note to Dark Fury about that. We'll see if we can get something in, or in the positive rate discussions or flight plans. And Brett says if you get their mod, you'll have better water effects and spray and the like. Oh, right, okay. Interesting. So it actually does an upgrade to the sim itself as well. Cool. Yeah, looks like we're right in the soup, guys. This should be interesting. So at some point we're going to come up to our vector path here, so we will we'll make an educated decision about when to turn on course for pair up. But at the moment it's just really a matter of bringing it down nice and slow. And it's frame friendly too, that is good. That's a good thing. My PC isn't what it used to be, and it's still just as good as it was the day I bought it. The problem is, I think, with things moving on, get more complicated. I might have to consider some upgrades probably within the next year or so. Okay, we are slowly coming down to 5,000 feet at Hopta. And then once we get to Curson, we'll be on a vector path. Prairub is then the intercept to come into our final approach for runway 30 in Oakland. And hopefully if I'm down before some of the guys behind me, I'll try and get you on drone camera. In terms of the airport itself, so we're coming in on runway 30. Good chance we'll probably miss Whiskey 4 high speed vacate, but we'll try and get Whiskey 5, I think. Backtrack along Whiskey, come up Uniform or Bravo, and then make our way into the terminal. But I think, guys, we'll probably meet around here in this cul-de-sac here at the terminal, so that's what I'm aiming for. Aaron says, I'll have to demir the specs on my new computer so you can, yeah. Is it good? Is it good, Aaron? Yeah, I'm always very jealous, especially some of these guys rocking the 4090 and high-spec processors, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm still getting a good experience on Flight Sim there, so I'm quite happy. But it's always nice to get higher spec stuff. Brett says, yeah, I upgraded end of last year. NASA wanted to borrow it for a while too. Yeah, send me the specs, Aaron. I'm interested. I actually think, I don't know if I'll go into NVIDIA card next time, though. I'm seriously considering maybe going a pure AMD route this time around, but we'll see. The only thing is, traditionally, NVIDIA has always been better for Flight Simulator. So, I'll just have to do some research and see what all the, what the interwebs are saying about what works better. Okay, so we want to, when we get to Alex, they're talking about 210, so that's, Alex is there. And that'll give us, our descent path is going to be a lot more gradual at that point, so the plane should be able to slow down fairly easily. One good thing to talk about is the approach. I think we'll go flap 30 today. One, 2, 3, so we want to be about 127 when we hit Metar. Wind's pretty favorable, 2609 knots, nothing really to worry about, so I'm quite happy with that. 2996 is still the barrel, so that's fine. And we'll take that down to 210. And we can get those Nav1 radios tuned into the ILS. Nighthawk says, I am quite happy with my AMD system. NVIDIA says caused so much problem with it. Yeah, I agree with that. So, I mean, my 1660 has been a rock solid card for the price point. It's been phenomenal. And actually, a lot of people I've heard are still using it because it's that good a card, you know. Although, that GeForce experience stuff does my head in. And the thing is, it's still pushing updates all the time. But for my card, I mean, unless it's a patch for a new game that just came out, which I don't really use my PC really for any other things apart from Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's why I have a Series X for that console. So if I want to do any gaming, I'll do it on that rather than the PC. Yeah, the driver updates are crazy, and I don't need them. So, because I mean, what really is a new driver going to do for my card at this point? It's more for people that have the, you know, the 3000, 4000 series DLS support, etc. I don't have any of that, so it's kind of meaningless to me for the most part. Okay, we're getting into our vector path here. It is 187. That's what I got dialed in, isn't it? Yeah. Not seeing any indication of ILS as yet. But we're probably not past the airport quite yet, so let's see what happens. Unless I'm forgetting to turn something on. Don't think I am. Am I missing anything? So I've set the nav radios to the ILS frequency. I've got the course dialed in. Is there anything I'm missing? Should be good to go. I definitely getting a DME pullout though, so that's full. Okay, take it to heading select. DM sent me some pics. I'm still working on the furniture and lighting. Oh, okay, so you're doing like a whole setup. That's cool. Brett says, I've been avoiding the driver updates for the last few months. Still on the 3090 Ti, upgraded from a GTX 1080. That's a very powerful card. Not having much of an issue ignoring it? Yeah, probably not. I mean, it depends again. If you're playing all the newest and greatest games coming out, it's probably more relevant. But if it's just Flight Simulator, then those updates can sometimes cause more hassle than they're worth. And the other thing I hate about the GeForce experience is, and I haven't really figured out a way to turn this off, but it keeps overriding all my graphic settings in Flight Simulator. So every time I do an update, I have to go back in and try and readjust everything to what it should be. And it just drives me up the wall. Can't stand it. Okay. So we want to navigate to Parab. I'll just give a chance to get it down. And Parab, we want to be at 4,500. Okay, which is pretty much where we are. So I think what I'm going to do, just for sanity's sake, and drop the plane to 190. Brett says, play Microsoft and Starfield, both at 4K Ultra, everything, no problems. Very cool. Especially for Starfield, that's it's not the most efficiently programmed flight sim. I feel like I'm missing something about the ILS here, I can't remember. Not sure. Anyway, landing lights should be on. Let's get those on. Just ding the 10, that's what I want. Get ready, people. Get ready, people. And we'll bring Para back in. Hopefully we'll start picking up that ILS, because I'm not seeing it yet. Nighthawk says I have zero visibility. Oh dear, that's not good. Brett says my system has little OP, so that helps. 4090 would be the only mean. Right, fair enough. Okay, so do we want to talk about auto brakes? I think we'll do auto brakes 1. Can arm the spoilers. And now it's really just coming into our final through our transition, which is Para. So we come en route. Confused why I'm not seeing the ILS pop up though. 1087. 1087. Yeah. No idea. No idea. Alright, wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck. Yeah, it does look very thick. I can see everybody starting to gang up around us now. Bring in first stage of flaps, I think. Everything's looking good. Don't think there's anything I'm concerned about. It's just a matter of trying to fly the final approach. Wheel down, Stu. Okay, you're almost there. Almost there. I can see you off in the distance. Brett says, good luck, you'll be fine. Thank you for your vote of confidence. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. It's I usually try to do a prep flight in a 737 just to reapprise myself with the airplane. It doesn't always come to that, unfortunately. And because I was down in London this week, I didn't have an opportunity, so. I'll take it down to 180, please. Flaps 5. Alarm the approach. On final, little visibility. Okay. Passengers are already dead? Yeah, they are. We suffocated them. We suffocated them. Okay. Okay, ILS intercept. Flaps 15. You're down. Starting on final descent. I'll set our exit at altitude at 3,000. As we drop into the soup, we got good track on ILS. Let's see when we bring in the second one. Don't know if it always works, but. Made it back for landing. Cool. Ups 25. There's our rough showing up there. It was 123, so we'll go for a 127 approach. Oh! We can see, we can see. 128. And final approach flap setting 30. That's what we're going to use today. So far, so good. So far, it's been pretty smooth descent, actually. I think, I dare say I'm getting better at doing this. Oh, Steve, Nighthawk, you saw Nighthawk landing. Good, cool. Glad you did well. Okay, getting ready on the autopilot. Waiting for that 1,000 call out. And Captain says I'm doing lifetime, I can't see anything. Oh, lifetime might be different, I'm not sure, but we're flying, we start at 1100 in the sim, so. Okay, I have control. Fully configured. Plane wants to float a bit, so we just make sure you gotta stay on that that path. A little bit low. Bit low.
Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow.
Come on.
Glide slow.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow. Approaching minimums.
There we go. Still a bit low. Get off center line. Throw back. Minus 127. And center line reverse thrust. A bit more brakes. I want to try and get that exit. Drop it back. Fuel off. There we go. Very good landing, says Stu. Thank you very much, Stu. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I think that was on the books. I think everything clicked there. We had a good approach, good speed profile on the approach, well configured. Brought it back to manual. Final fly-in, bit below the glide scope, so that's something I can work on. But all in all, 127, can't really argue with that. It's a good, reasonable landing rate. Yeah, thanks guys. Pretty happy with that one. Drifting. Get back on there. Clean up our flaps, shall we? Going. Okay, see Nighthawk parked up. I think we wanted to miss the first taxiway and hit the second one. So Fozzie had a good landing, good. And I think Stu, you said Nighthawk had a good landing too. Well done, everybody. Well done. Looks like everyone, you know, despite the weather, everyone seemed to nail it today. That's really cool. Where am I? Am I lost? Oh no, yeah. So looking for a uniform, that's what I'm after. Get rid of that. Don't mind leaving that one up a bit longer. Good bragging rights. I always close it quickly when it's bad. Okay, there's uniform. It was funny when I was at Edinburgh Airport on Wednesday night. I was watching how the different airlines like to taxi out, and Ryanair, man, they don't waste any time. They're throwing that airplane all over the place. As soon as they get the clearance to go, they're gone. They're like weaving and bobbing right through the taxiways. Guess those guys are always on a clock. Stu said mine was good apart from the bounce. So you had a bit of bounce. You get a bounce every now and then, and it happens in real life. That's the thing, Stu. Got to remember that. It's not just in the sim. Okay, so we'll I'll jump out of the cockpit. We'll just take a quick look at the scenery. Actually, I might just park here. And there's Fozzie. Looks like Fozzie had a good landing. Ooh, APU's not started yet. Parking brakes. Just waiting for that APO to come alive. There's Fozzie going. Maybe Fozzie, you can just park up beside me if you're coming around. Oh, there he is. Oh, no, he's going for a gate. It's like, heck with you guys. I'm looking for the luxury side of things. Okay, APU setting one down, there we go. And get power. There we go. Okay, so Oakland. So this is also available from Orbx. And we'll just take a quick look. It's not a massive airport, but then Oakland is it's one of the smaller cities in America. But it is on this occasion, I could say it's across the bay, and somewhere around here is the Golden Gate Bridge. But yeah, it looks like they basically have the main terminal. We got gates in a U shape or a cul-de-sac kind of style, probably roughly about 30 gates maybe. Just check and see if there's any internal detailing here. Very basic airport though. I mean, there's really not much to Oakland. Yeah, so this is purely external model. Pretty good on the frames though. And lots of detail in the parking area. And oh, maybe we have been here because I think this is the one that has the little train in it. I think we have been flown out of Oakland before. But yeah, there is an actual train here. You'll see that coming in a minute, hopefully. I think it's off in the distance right now. But yeah, a nice little bit of scenery. It just really adds something to the area. And I'll give you a quick look at it at night. There you go. Always love the floods. With the light bloom in Flight Simulator, it just makes it look so different. There's Fozzie. He's found a gate. He's found himself a gate. Yeah, lovely little bit of detail. Very, very good. So go check it out. We got links down in the show description, but you can find both of these on Orbx, including sale that we took off from today. And let's change that back to daytime. Which is unfortunate. We have a very gray day in Oakland today, but they do call this place, I didn't know this, but Oakland is actually called the Rainy City. And apparently, in terms of California, Oakland seems to get quite a fair share of rain compared to other cities in the States. And that's all she wrote, folks, but thanks for flying with us today. It's been absolutely fantastic to have everybody with us, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Big thank you to Stu and Brett, Jayhog, Fozzie, Aaron, Nighthawk. Tony popped in at one point as well. If I haven't mentioned your name, apologies, but no, thanks for joining us today, guys, and some great discussion on the chats, which was flight simulator related, which was really cool. Stu says bye, I'll see you. Yeah, take care, Stu. Hope you have a really good weekend, and we'll see you next time right here on Positive Rate, guys. All the best. Love you to bits.